Hello there. What is going on, everyone? We are back with another Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught faction pack unboxing. We are looking at the Red Wizards today, and we're going to unbox these. We'll show you guys everything that comes in here. We'll show you each of the miniatures. We'll do some close-ups on them. We'll show you their cards, their character cards. We're going to show you the upgrade cards and everything that comes in this pack. The Red Wizards... It says the magocratic. There's a word for you, huh? I bet you didn't even know that word existed before today. The magocratic Red Wizards rule the country of Thay with an iron fist. Nefarious and notorious in equal measure, agents of the Red Wizards consort with demons, practice foul necromancy, and stop at nothing to secure more power for their patrons and themselves. This faction pack includes everything you need to field the Red Wizards faction in Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught, but is not a standalone product and requires a copy of the core set to play. I also want to thank WizKids for sending this out for review. Of course, helping make this video possible by actually putting this in my hand. So if you want to check this out, I'm going to have links in the description below. Also, if you want to learn more about Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught, I've created a playlist. I'll put some video links at the end of the video. And a little admin stuff before we pop this thing open. We are still doing Life Day giveaways and the lightsaber giveaway, and that's running all the way through the end of the year. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. Also, you should check the links in the description below beyond, not just to check this out, but also if you want any of my social media links, or hop in on our Discord and let's talk about some tabletop gaming. I do a lot of Star Wars tabletop gaming as well. So if you've been here for a while, you probably already know that. Okay, I think that's all of the admin stuff. So let's just jump right into getting this thing open. All right, so we've got this thing, and we're going to open them up now. Just like I recently did the Many Arrows faction pack, in a similar regard, you're going to have a nice little insert that you can reuse. You can store this whole faction in this box if you'd like to, or you can store them in some other way. Now, these miniatures are pretty cool because you are going to be able to use them in your normal miniatures gaming. If you want to use these for maybe your D&D characters, or maybe some NPCs if you're deciding all of that, or if you wanted to maybe swap some of these guys out with your existing D&D miniatures, you can totally do that. The game certainly allows it and has some pretty cool tokens to facilitate it a little bit easier. First thing is, we do have custom D20s for this particular faction. Like each of the factions, you're going to have some beautiful D20s, and I'm going to roll them. We'll give them a first roll live here without any editing. And of course, that faction symbol for the Red Wizards will represent the 20 or the crit in this case. So let's go ahead and give them a roll. Let's see how it goes. We've got a 3 and a 12. Okay, so a little bit more middle of the road since you tend to attack with advantage. A 12 isn't bad. It's going to hit a lot of the times, probably more often than not. So not bad, not bad. Last time my results were much more extreme on both ends of the spectrum. We do have lots of cards and cardboard. We're going to look at some of these miniatures. I'll do close-ups. We'll look at basically each of them in a little more detail, but they do have clear bases like all of the rest of the miniatures. They have the name and the faction symbol on the bottom, so you're going to be able to take a look at all of them. They do go in and out of here generally fairly easy. You can store them without too much difficulty and putting them back in here. And there we go. We've got everybody out. Let's go ahead and dig into the cardboard and the cards. Well, actually, before I do that, let's just see they're definitely putting the Frameworks customizable sprue minis in every one of their packages so far. And look at that, a little promo code you can use. Look at that, Red Wizards 10 to see 10% off your first purchase. So there you go, if you're looking to do that. Especially if maybe you don't get what you were wanting for Christmas, then here's a cool idea of some extra stuff that you can do. But on the other side, you are going to have the actual rules reference for this. It's going to talk to you about the anatomy of the cards, some of the specialty rules that they have. There's summoning in here. Oh, this is cool. And of course, we have a Cloak of Flies token that we're going to see in here as well. And oh, look at all of these cool things. So we've got some here, and if you wanted to check out all of the rules in more detail, whoops, I'm going to hold this right here so you can pause the video if you'd like, and let me go up to there, and we'll do that as well. And then if you wanted to check out the credits, and of course you can pause the video as well here. Now, so some of you who have followed my channel for a while might recognize some names here from the old Fantasy Flight days. Of course, Alex Davey, who's the director of Miniatures Gaming. Max Brook was helping with playtesting there. John Schaefer, like some definitely some names, and I'm probably missing some. I'm just kind of going through this really quick, but really cool stuff going on here with just seeing like a lot, seeing some of our old favorites who have helped create some of my favorite games, kind of lending their help and support towards this game is just and I love it already. I've played a little bit of it with the demo kit. I got that demo at Gen Con. I've played it since then. I've been teaching people, and I can't wait to dig even deeper into this campaign with the Red Wizards. So let's take a look at each of the characters. We'll look at the cardboard. We've got basically a different token to represent each of the 6 characters, and these are probably summoning tokens that we're going to have in here. They're going to have like their kind of knocked out or dead side on the other side of that. And then we also have some additional for the Cloak of Flies token, and then some other tokens here that are referenced also in those rules that we just looked at. So I'm going to open these up. We'll open up the cards and then the character cards. All right, so I've got everything out. I want to do a couple of things. First off, I love the tokens. I love the way that they're kind of to show where a character dies, but also allows you to more easily use a replacement character miniature if you'd like to. And you can also do that with the minions. So these guys are summoners, and of course we've got tokens to represent the summoned minions as well, plus our additional status tokens, faction, and our Cloak of Flies here as well. And now the minions, the reason they have these white bordered on the other side is if you end up playing against another Red Wizards faction, you're able to tell whose is whose. One person will use the white bordered, another player will use the red bordered, and you can kind of keep them apart. I also think that it's really cool to be able to use these, and you can still use your own miniatures if you wanted to. So if I had, if you're like a gamer and you've got D&D miniatures or whatever, you probably have quite a few skeletons, right? And there's, so you have 3 skeletons options here, and then of course the Hound of Ill Omen. And what's cool also is that we've got cards for these, right? So the skeletons have a movement of 3 and an AC of 10, and they can do slam, and they, of course, this means that they're a summonable character, right? They have 3 health each on the skeletons, 4 health on the Hound, and it's got an undead minion here, so they don't attack with advantage, so they only roll 1 die, and they're melee with their melee, and they suffer an additional wound from some of the effects. And so, they're kind of meant to be a little weaker, right? As skeletons sometimes are. The Hound of Ill Omen is maybe a little stronger, though. Doesn't have like a weakness on it. It's got a little more health. It's got a bite. It's +5 to hit on that bite, so we're more likely to hit. It's got a critical of an extra damage, and it has a no escape ability, which means it can attack people who are invisible. Which is very cool. So I like that. I like that this is like a whole new thing for this faction. There's very, very cool stuff. And of course, if you don't want to use the tokens, just pop a dog miniature on there or some skeleton miniatures. It'd be really, really cool. Let's look at some of these characters. All right, so I'm going to start off with Ilak Uldanen, who's a cleric, and they have the summoning ability to be able to summon 1 skeleton. So what we'll do is we'll be able to use 1 of these, and what it says is basically like if you're running, there are multiple summoners here, but if, for example, he dies and that skeleton's out there, like in order for a skeleton to be out there and to stay on the board, you're going to have a number of summoners with basically how many they can support. And so I wouldn't be able to animate a skeleton like twice in a game if the first one was still up, right? So this guy couldn't support 2 skeletons because he only supports 1. And but he's got the Sickle of Life Stealing, which is nice. It heals him. He's got Toll of the Dead, which also heals him. So nice little melee and ranged, a way to kind of suck the life out of people, like some cleric. You're definitely a dark cleric, and I love it. They're a oh, how much health are we starting with over here too? Starting with 11 health. They have Touch of Death. This is going to give somebody weakened. It makes their attacks do half damage. And of course, they can animate undead. They can summon a 1 skeleton in an unoccupied space at range 1. Now that's a 5-turn cooldown. So you're going to probably want to do that first turn. It counts as a standard action. So you're not going to be able to double move if you want to do that. But I think it's a good idea to do that early. This way you can potentially do it again, later on. And we've got combat reflexes here as well. It's a very popular one. Let's take a look at the miniature for Ilak Uldanen. Here we go. Ilak is he's got the spectral hand going on right there. Like I really like the like the acrylic the clear plastic kind of spell effects that they got going on here. It adds quite a bit, and this is actually a really good miniature too. You've got the good sculpting in there. Is that maybe scale mail that this guy's wearing? And then he's got the little cloak going around, some good paint apps on the shield. This is one of the, this is pretty nice for a pre-painted miniature. And again, all of these are pre-painted miniatures. You don't have to use these if you want. Some people like to do their own. And of course we've got Ilak Uldan in there. But yeah, it's a pretty good one. And so here are his upgrade cards. So he gets the Greater Skeleton. So he's, if you level him up, he can say, hey, you know what, you guys lose that undead minion ability. Again, just for clarification, that would mean that they are going to actually attack with advantage, and they don't suffer additional damage from those effects anymore. So that's kind of cool. And if you want your skeleton to actually attack a little bit harder, and then, or you could also get Reaper, which means your melee is going to gain 1 and an extra life steal when you're attacking somebody who's slowed or weakened. And so depending on how you want to play, you can kind of make your choices based on that, which is pretty cool. And the next contestant on Crabbok's House of Horrors wins the global award for most syllables possible in a name. It is, let me see if I can get this right, Cuella Amaznodel. I imagine Cuella Amaznodel didn't make too many friends when kind of walking into like a library and announcing their presence. I'm like, hello there, my name is Cuella Amaznodel, and I'm a wizard of the Red Wizards. It probably reminds you of Gauntlet when it would say, Red Wizard needs food badly. Yes. Let's take a look at Cuella Amaznodel. I don't even want to make a short name. I don't want to call him Quell or anything like that. No, this is Cuella Amaznodel. So, right. But yeah, we got some more magic effects going on with the hands there, going all the way down to the base. Really fancy here. Some nice gold trim on the robe and on the boots. Also, and really nice gold trim around the edge of the cloak and on the top there as well. We got some different type of gold on some of the shoulder materials as well going underneath. And yeah, so very good looking miniature. Very cool. I'm liking it. These are honestly, you don't expect a whole lot from pre-painted miniatures, but these are pretty good. All right, let's take a look at Cuella Brelton. Cuella Brelton is a wizard. It can summon 2 skeletons, which is a little different than the one from before. But oh, look at that, only 8 health to start. There's an unarmed strike, not particularly strong, but you have Ray of Frost. Oh, I like that. They're gonna gain slowed. And by the way, I love how when they're putting these special effects in there, they've just given you reminder text. It's a small thing, but honestly, little things like having just reminder text, that I don't have to go open up the rule book and look what this means again every single game. Like that's just a really big thing, and I like it. So thank you to WizKids for taking the time to print some reminder text on a lot of these cards and character. I like that so much. Just little things like that make a big difference. You have critical +1 damage and then also a heal, and then you can command undead. Of course, you activate 2 friendly skeletons at range 1 to 5 and in the order of your choice. for a bonus action. The Undead Thralls, you can, so of course, you summon 2 skeletons at range 1 to 3, and this is only a 3-round cooldown. So, Cuella Masnodel is much better at summoning skeletons than our little cleric from before. And then there's Negative Energy, which is a long cooldown of 5. You can target a character at range 2 to 5, you plus 5 to hit, and it does 3 damage. And if you target a minion instead, you're gonna heal it 5, so you can like heal up your skeletons, which is really cool. And it doesn't have to be your minion, it looks like, too. So if you have like another summoner in your team, you might be able to like do a little bit of team spirit and like, I got you. Cuella Brelton, a Masnodel always has your back. Oh my. Let's go with the upgrade cards. You can go with Unholy Resilience, which give your friendly skeletons +4 armor. AC, this is pretty good. Or Inescapable Destruction. They can gain an extra damage to their melee attacks, which is pretty cool stuff. All right, our next superstar is very cool with the spiked chain. Oh, the spiked chain is just so cool. And it's like one step closer to nunchucks. Maybe we're going to get nunchucks at some point. Okay, we have Basra, Ashlord, and Basra is coming into this saying, I don't need to summon miniatures. I don't need to summon minions. I've got a ball and chain, and I am going to thwack some people. So, really good eyes on this one. Look at those eyes. Incredibly good eyes. Really nice for pre-painted miniatures and all. Like these are just really improving. Just as I look at them, got some nice silver armor underneath there. Got the big old chain. We got some different ornaments to the hair coming in the front. As we look at the back, we've got some spiky bits there on our cloak, and that is Basra, and there's the underneath, right? Okay, so Basra has the spiked chain, and it's a melee attack. It's got reach, right? It's range 1 to 2, which is really cool. +5 to hit, 2 damage, critical. It does an extra damage, and move the target up to 2 spaces. I think that's so cool because it doesn't say like which direction. You could pull them closer, maybe, or you could knock them to the side. We'll put them in range of somebody else, right? Set them up. You got threatening reach. You can use combat reflexes when a target enters your melee range. So combat reflex is a very common reaction. So normally it says after somebody at range 1 to 2 moves, if they're no longer at range 1 to 2, make a free melee attack against that enemy. So you're. I think this is letting you also do it when they come in, as opposed to just the way it normally reads. Which is all right. Is all right. Because normally combat reflexes is only for adjacent as well. So, very interesting. You've got Entangling Strike here. This is going to be a bonus action. And you're going to target an enemy at range 1 to 2, +5 to hit, 2 damage, and they're going to gain slowed. And then you have a second wind to heal yourself 3. Basra does start off at 13 health, and that's going to help Basra stay alive. That's a pretty good fighter. Let's look at these upgrades. All right, we've got Sentinel. After an enemy is hit by your combat reflexes, they end their move and lose all remaining move points. So you're trying to squeeze by me. You better hope I miss. And then power attack, your melee gains -2 to hit and then +1 damage. So this one is weird, mostly because your melee permanently now is you're less likely to hit every single time. So I think this is going to be a little problematic. I mean, you still have +5 to hit anyway, so you basically go down to only a +3 to hit. So this is a level up that actually gives you a negative effect, but the +1 damage I think is significant here, because of the fact that your combat reflexes has so much more versatility, plus your spiked chain. You're going to be attacking probably twice as often with Basra that you would with a lot of other characters, and because of the reach, not just because of the combat reflexes, but also because of the reach you have on the spiked chain. So I feel like this is actually pretty good, because that being a 3 damage attack that you're going to be doing a whole lot is probably worth the negative penalty to hit. But we're going to have to play it and see for sure. But I think on paper, it looks like a winner. All right, next up it is Zook Doublefinch. Zook like to come over and stab you when you're not looking and take your gold. Zook is a rogue, and we've got some really cool effects going on here with Zook. So, like it's oh gosh, what is that? I know the effect right where they pickpocket without having to actually do it. Is that? No, I don't know. I know. I know the spell and I can't think of. Let me know in the comment if you think of what spell that he's casting right there in that pose. That's really cool though. All right, so Zook has a short sword and +6 to hit on that. Really reliable damage there. If you can get him into melee, he's got a Ray of Enfeeblement, which is going to make somebody weaken. He's got a critical of healing that way, and he's got sneak attack. +1 with your melee if a friendly character is adjacent to your target. We've seen sneak attack before. It's a nice ability if you're going to double team and kind of get him behind, right? He kind of wants to flank, basically. He's going to start off with 9 health. And he's got an opportunity attack. He's got Ledgermane, which is when it's going to get used. A mini at range 1 of 3. Take a loot token and its corresponding item card from the target. So, and then of course that's like a once per game thing unless you have some kind of special effect to get it back. But that's really nasty. Just like, you know what? Give me that. I like that. And I don't want you to have it. I want to have it instead. And then we've got Spell Thief. Also is a kind of on or off thing. An enemy at range 1 to 2, choose one of their fire or arcane, I think, abilities and use it as though it were yours. Oh, he's so much fun. Oh my goodness. I didn't even read those all the way through before I turned it on. I just kind of looked them over and said, all right, let's record. But that looks really cool. All right, so we've got Versatile Trickster. Your ranged attack gains +1 damage if any friendly characters are adjacent to your target, which is pretty good. And then Magical Ambush. Deal an extra damage against enemies who have not activated this round. That one I'm not as crazy about off the top of my head because that feels like that forces you to go first with a character that's relatively weak, right? Like only 9 health. So I don't know if I want them. I kind of want to play it safe with this dude, right? So I don't know. I'm leaning more towards the Versatile Trickster. That's me. But then again, you know what? Sometimes you're just like, oh, look, I get to do 3 damage now, and so that's gonna be fun. Especially that could be great too. Especially if I've stolen some of your stuff to help me stay alive. Maybe I stole your armor. You know, now I can stay alive. It's so cool. Oh my goodness. That's a fun one. Next up, it is Lament. The sorcerer Lament is also a summoner who's going to be able to bring in a Hound of Ill Omen. But just one, a little reminder text. The Hound of Ill Omen is pretty cool, actually. And so I like that. And Lament's miniature. Oh, he's a tiefling? I love it. All right, so Lament is a tiefling. And there is and again, we're getting like this partially clear acrylic, so we got the spell effects on this whole faction are just out of this world. Really cool, and there's like a little bit of shade on there. He's summoning the wolf. I'm sorry, the Hound of Ill Omen into existence. So very cool, very cool. I like it. I love the tail too. I'm a little bit partial to tieflings myself. My first D&D 5th edition character was a tiefling, so now I'm like, yes, I love tieflings. All right, so Lament has a Chris. It's only +2 to hit, so again, not super strong in melee, but that's what the Hound is for, right? You got the Ray of Frost. You're gonna +5 to hit, and then they're gonna gain 2 damage, and they gain slowed. You have the critical of the +1, and then another +1 if they're slowed or weakened. And in his master's voice, you can activate a friendly Hound of Ill Omen at range 1 to 3. The Shocking Grasp, which is going to be +7 to hit. It does 4 damage. I love Shocking Grasp. That was an old school spell. And then Release Hound, of course, is a 3-round cooldown to summon a Hound of Ill Omen. So you can do this. This is something you can do multiple times. So that's going to be pretty cool with only 3 charge. You've got the opportunity attack. And let's see how much Lament starts with. Only 8 health. Well, the summoners are kind of fragile, right? And a little bit vulnerable to ranged attacks and things like that. So that will be interesting. This is going to be a fun kind of... I'm getting a very much of a glass cannon feel from this faction right now. Let's look at the Lament's stuff. Umbral form. You may move through, but not end your movement overlapping enemies and blocking terrain. So you kind of like, just, ghost and become the vapor. And then Shadow's Deceit, I like this one a lot, especially for this guy. This is definitely the one I'd probably go with, although it depends on how the game is going. The first time you would be killed, you can set your health to 1, unless the effect that defeated you was a critical success. So, that's going to happen. It's only the first time you would be killed. So then you're probably going to just flip this thing over. Oh, look at the art on the back of that. Look at that. I love the wolf, right? I mean, I'm sorry, the Hound of Ill Omen. I keep saying the wolf. It's all right. Very cool. All right. Last but not least is Farallon of Scardale, a warlock who has the cool purple card and very cool flame. First off, let's take a look at Farallon's miniature. Looks like what is that? A bone dagger in the hand there? I don't know. It's really cool looking. But I like the flame. And is it like a metal arm? Like maybe like armor plating? Or I wonder. I don't know. I mean, those of you who know, maybe Farallon of Scardale has like an interesting backstory. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many of these characters are like canon characters to D&D, or if they're, if WizKids was actually able to create some of them, because I'll be honest, I don't know that much about the lore. I know I've played the Baldur's Gate games, and I remember some characters. Like I would love to see Minsk show up in this game and things like that. That would be really, really cool. But this guy, I don't know what's going on with him. But I see that metal arm, and it gives me Winter Soldier vibes, and I'm digging it. But yeah, so we've got some nice red and black. Nice black application over the red on the robe, kind of brings out the definition there. And then we've got some brown, and then of course some more skin down here with a little bit of silvery apps on some of the metal clasps on his gear. So he's looking all right. Face isn't as good as some of the other characters in this pack, but it still works. So you got the mouth open and got the pink kind of tongue in there, like he's hissing at you as he gets ready to throw some fire in your general direction. Oh my god! And of course he's got Fireball. Oh, I love Fireball. Okay, all right. So we got a Sickle of Life Stealing. It's range 1 +4 to hit. It's only 1 damage, but it heals him 1. So that's always nice. These guys don't want to be up close very much, right? They definitely don't. Even their melee is like at that range 2 thing. They just don't have the best close range attacks. They want to be farther away. That's what their summoned minions are for, right? You go in and fight for me. I'll catch up with you later. Agonizing Blast. +1 enemy at range 2 to 5, +4 to hit, 3 damage. That's nice. And then on a critical, you're going to heal 1 and do an extra damage. Cloak of Flies. We saw this one earlier. You're going to gain the Cloak of Flies. It means you have cover. You have cover against all enemies, and enemies cannot take reactions after your moves. But that's a fading effect. So it means it's only going to be until the end of the round. So this is like you're like, oh shoot, I had to move close enough, or I'm surrounded. I better use this now and hope that I can stay alive. You have the Fireball, which is the big area attack, and +6 to hit, 2 damage. Oh, I love Fireball. Best. We've got a counter spell here. After an enemy at range 1 to 3 uses an elemental or arcane ability, set its cooldown, set their cooldown dial if any, and cancel it. Oh wow, this is a once per game thing too. I like that. I like that a lot. Very cool. And let's take a look at Farallon's level up cards. We've got the Armor of Shadows. You're going to gain +3. That's definitely a good thing. And then the Eldritch Spear. Your melee gains +1 range. Oh no, yeah, +1 range, +1 damage, and you heal an additional 1 after you hit with an attack. That's really interesting. Oh, and I'm guessing that's probably maybe what this just turned into. He's like the longer range, because that's a really big dagger. Or maybe he gets a whole spear out of it. I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't imagine this as a range 2 weapon. I think this is maybe the Sickle of Life Stealing in his hand, and then the Eldritch Spear. If it's gonna have a +1 range, then that's gonna be a pretty cool weapon. I like that. That gives you a different play style with him. All right, okay, that's cool. That's cool. I'll take it. Very cool. I liking these characters quite a bit. All right, this has been a first look at the Red Wizards faction pack for Dungeons and Dragons Onslaught. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. Also, join our Discord. Love to have the continuation of the conversation over there as well. We have a great family-friendly gaming Discord, and I'd love to have you be a part of it. I'm going to roll these dice one more time and see where we're at while I thank WizKids for sending this out. Oh, an 8 and a 4. Not the best roll. Let me try one more time. 15 and an 18. I like that better. These dice are actually pretty balanced, pretty well rolling dice. Like, I really like these. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. I've been using metal dice lately, and the metal dice don't roll as well. So I really like just the classic kind of acrylic or plastic dice. They work very well. It is definitely holiday time, and these can make for great gift options, but we also do gift and giveaways here on the channel. So I want to do a quick thank you to today's winner. Is going to be winning Star Wars Legion Infantry Support platform expansion, and that is a pretty hefty unit there, and pretty cool stuff. And that's going to be today's giveaway. So congratulations to Justin Smith. You are today's winner. All you have to do is shoot me an email at mailcrabbok@gmail.com. Remind me what it is you win. I get a lot of emails. And also, I need your shipping information. So just shoot me an email. We'll get you squared away. If you didn't win, don't worry. Patrons get an extra chance at anything that goes unclaimed. So I give everybody 30 days to claim their winnings. And patrons on Patreon are going to get an opportunity to kind of scoop in and get everything that has been unclaimed. So far, we do have a few things that have been unclaimed, but there is still time. So let's go ahead and wrap this video up with a big thank you to my patrons. You guys are amazing and help make this channel possible. Also, a big thanks to WizKids. And thank you all for watching. Make sure to like the video, share the video, give it thumbs up, all that other stuff, and check out some more stuff that's going to be over here from Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught. I'll talk to you later.